Hello, Ginther students! Alright, so we've been talking about our Worry Warriors for the past few weeks, and I really hope that you are all still working on training your Worry Warriors about when you need their help, and when maybe there is danger, and when to not hit that panic button, taking those deep breaths, or whatever it is you do to calm down, so that you can stay nice and calm at school or at home, and those worries don't get kind of stuck running through your head. We're going to kind of keep talking about worries a little bit. Remember, we're focusing on ourselves right now and things that might be going on in our heads that maybe keep us from having such a good time sometimes. So, along the lines of worries, so this might relate to your Worry Warrior, is when we make mistakes. I do talk to boys and girls every year that when they make a mistake, whether it's with math or spelling or writing or something in PE or music or art, they get really frustrated. Either they get really upset or they get really anxious, they stop talking, they put their head down, they won't work anymore. But the truth is, mistakes are awesome. You guys might remember at the beginning of the year that you heard me talking about when we make a mistake, it's actually a really good thing. I'm not encouraging you to make mistakes, but when we make a mistake, it's an opportunity to learn something new. We learn more when we make mistakes than we do when we do something right the first time. And what I would encourage everyone here to do is not think of mistakes as something bad. You know, it's not something the Worry Warrior needs to hit the alarm for. Mistakes are a chance to learn, a chance to grow, a chance to do something creative. So I'm going to read you guys a book today. It's called The Beautiful Oops by Barney Salzberg, and this is a very special book, and I really want you to think about what's happening in this story and maybe what happens when you make a mistake, if we need to think about our mistakes a little bit differently.
Okay, let's look at this story. Oops! A torn piece of paper. Look at that, boys and girls. Torn piece of paper. That's a big mistake, right? Or a torn piece of paper is just the beginning. And they turned it into an alligator with a moving mouth. So that mistake wasn't really a mistake. It was just the beginning of something fun. Every spill has lots. Ooh, look, it's a bunch of doggies. And lots, ooh, some birds. Looks kind of a little bit like penguins. Of possibilities. And now it's an elephant. So that one spill has lots of possibilities. You could turn it into something fun and creative. Bent paper. Oh, this happens to me all the time. Look how the paper's all bent up here. Bent paper is something to celebrate. And they turned it into a family of penguins. So it's not bent paper anymore. Now it's a fun family of penguins. A little drip. Oh, look at the paint dripped all over the paper. Let your imagination run wild. And they turned it into a pig, and they drew another pig, and they used the other ink drops for tires in a car. So it wasn't a spill, it was just a picture waiting to happen. A scrap of paper. Look at this old scraps of paper here, scrap of paper in the newspaper. Who's going to use that? Can be fun to play with. They turned it into a dog's nose. The dog, look at that, with a smile. A smudge and a smear. That happens to me when I write. Sometimes my hands get sweaty and I smudge and smear on the paper. Can make magic appear. And they turned it into a rabbit catching a fish. All from a smudge and a smear. Ooh, skipped a page. That's okay though, that's just a funny little mistake. A stain, ooh, I've done this before. I use coasters now, but I've done this before. A stain around our cocoa mug has potential. Yeah. There's a lot of potential hidden under the mug. If you play with its shape, and they turn it into a frog underneath the mug. Holes in your paper are worth exploring. And if we look down into the paper, what is that down there? That is a little doggy. I think it's a doggy, some sort of animal. So they turn the holes in the paper and almost like a telescope. When you think you have made a, and they took mistake, but they scribbled it out like a mistake, and they turned it into grass with a flower growing out of it. When you think you have made an oops, think of it as an opportunity to make something beautiful. So there's a crinkled up piece of paper that they turned into a happy sheep. And all the other mistakes on the other pages are here. So mistakes don't have to be mistakes. They are a chance to learn something new or to make something new.
Okay, that is the end of our story, and Logan has joined us up here on the table. I hope you like that, boys and girls. You know, I want to emphasize again what happened in the story. Just think about everything that happened. There could have been a mistake, or it could have been a chance for the person who made the mistake to get upset and shut down and cry or get frustrated or storm away. They turned it into something fun and beautiful and exciting, and that's what I want you guys to think of your mistake. In fact, I wish I was at school right now because I could use my whiteboard, because at school I'd like to tell you about there's people that for a living they make mistakes the majority of the time and they're still considered like hugely successful, and I really wish I could just get to work. Logan, any ideas about can I get to work suddenly? No, he's got no ideas. Fiona, do you still have those magic powers? You do? Fiona still has those magic powers. Fiona, could you send me to work really fast so I could use my whiteboard? Oh, awesome. Thank you, Fiona. Alright, boys and girls, so like I was saying, there are actually a lot of examples in history and right now about people who fail on a regular basis. They make these mistakes on a regular basis and they're considered hugely successful because it's not that they make the mistakes and it's not that they fail, it's that they learn from those. They use those opportunities as a chance to learn, not something to be scared about or worried about or really avoid. As long as we're trying our best, if we make mistakes, that's just a chance to learn. So, for example, this is about Abraham Lincoln, which you guys have probably learned about before. So let's go through. I want you to learn some stuff about Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to try to go through this really fast, but a lot of people think of Abraham Lincoln as one of the very best presidents in the United States history. Maybe he is, maybe wasn't, but a lot of people agree that he was a very impressive man who did a lot of good things. But did you know that in 1832 he ran for the state legislature? Lost. 1833 he started a business that failed. The business went out of business. 1836 he had a nervous breakdown. A nervous breakdown is when we get so nervous and stressed out about things that we can't really function very well for a little while. He wasn't really able to do a lot very well because he just was kind of like so stressed out. But he kept going. 1838 he ran for Speaker of the House, which is an important position in our government, and lost. In 1843 he ran for Congress, which is another important position in our government, and lost. In 1848 he sought renomination so he could go back to Congress, and he lost. In 1849 he applied to be a land officer, which was kind of an important position back then, deciding who got what land. He lost. 1854 he ran for the U.S. Senate, which is one of the most important positions in our government, U.S. Senator, and lost. In 1856 he sought the nomination for the vice president, because we used to have to vote on the vice president and the president. It's different now, but he tried to become vice president, lost. In 1858 he ran for the U.S. Senate again and lost. Again. And then in 1860 he won the presidential election. He lost and failed over and over and over and over and over again. But eventually, because he never gave up, every time he failed, he tried to learn something new from it. Tried to learn from it so he could get better. And eventually he became the president because he didn't stop somewhere in here when things were going really bad and give up. He didn't worry about what other people thought about him. He didn't get stressed out and nervous when things weren't going the way he wanted. He used his mistakes and his failures as a chance to learn something new, which took him all the way to president. And I would argue that part of the reason he was such a good president is because he took all of his failures and all of his mistakes and he learned from them, which made him a better president. Every time he failed or made mistakes, even though he was trying his best, he took those as a chance to learn, not as a chance to get pouting or feel like he wasn't good enough or give up or get really nervous and his Worry Warriors say it's not worth trying because what if something bad happens, he used those as a chance to learn and to get better. So it was kind of exciting. Every time he lost or failed, it was a chance to learn or get excited about learning something new so he could get better at things. Same thing is true over here. So this is about baseball. Now, I know this is not a perfect circle, but that's okay. I tried my best. I'm not always the best drawer. What we have here is, so professional baseball players make millions of dollars. They make more money in 1 year than I will for my entire life. Not that I'm jealous. I am jealous, but that's not the point. This here, about the very, very, very best, the world class, the best baseball players in the entire world, fail when they go up to bat to hit a ball about 70% of the time. 70% of the time they get out. They strike out, they hit the ball right to somebody, they get out. 70% of the time they fail. The very best baseball players in the world only get a hit about 30% of the time. Think about that. That means for every 10 times they go up to bat, 7 times they fail. But what do? Every time they don't get a hit, they take that as a chance to learn something new and try something different the next time they go up to bat. They don't quit on their team, they don't give up, they don't pout, they don't sit in the dugout and think, oh no, what if everybody thinks I'm a bad person because I made a mistake? People don't think that. And if they do, it doesn't matter. What matters is that when we make these mistakes, when we try our best but we fail or we make a mistake, that we take that as an opportunity to just say, okay, I've learned something new. This is a chance for me to grow. This is exciting. Now I have this new chance to learn something I didn't know before, which makes me a better person, makes me a better student, makes me a better friend, makes me a better family member, makes me better at working with other people, whatever it is. When you make a mistake, just like in our story, the beautiful oops, when you fail at something, if you're honestly trying your best, that's an important part of this too. I'm not saying go out there and don't try and just make mistakes and say, oh well. What I'm saying is, if you're really trying your best on something, and you make a mistake, or you fail at something that you're trying, that is a chance to learn something new. Don't look at it as something bad. Don't worry about whether or not people are going to think badly of you. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. Use that as a chance to get excited. I just messed up. Hey, what can I learn from this? That's what I try to do. I don't always do it perfectly, because I still make mistakes with that. But you know what? That's okay. Every time I do, I try to learn from it, and next time, maybe get a little better at accepting that I made a mistake. Like my drawings. I have never been very good at drawing, but you know, it's okay. I just try my best and I keep going. In the videos, you probably heard me make mistakes a lot. I stumble over my words sometimes. Do I stop and pout and cry? No. Usually I laugh at myself, and I keep going. I use it as a chance to learn. Go back and watch the Worry Warrior video. When we were listening to the adults talk about what happens when their Worry Warrior hits the alarm and what they tell it, a lot of us had a lot of trouble saying Worry Warrior without messing up, and that's okay. We make mistakes, we move on. So remember the beautiful oops. Next time you make a mistake on something, it doesn't turn out perfectly the way you want, it's okay. Smile. Laugh to yourself. Think about, oh yeah, now I have a chance to learn something new. I tried this, it didn't work. How can I get better at this? Or if you don't do as well on a math test, or spelling, or drawing, or writing. I mean, my writing is not the best. Most of the teachers in the building can write a lot better than I can. I always laugh at myself because when I'm writing, it always seems like I start slanting down. I don't know why, but I do. But it's okay, because I just keep trying my best. Use it as a chance to get better and learn new things. And accept the fact, also, you know what? You might be really good at sports, I might be really good at reading. That doesn't make me any better or worse than you. That doesn't make you any better or worse than me. As long as we're both trying our best. Focus on your effort that you're putting into something, not the outcome. Make those mistakes beautiful. Enjoy them. Laugh about them. Use them as a chance to grow. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the book. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Fiona, I'm ready to go home. Fiona? Fiona, I don't have my car keys. It's the weekend, Fiona. How am I? Hello? Alright, looks like I made another mistake. I should have asked Fiona to send the car keys with me. And that's okay. I'm going to be walking home. Now I've learned something new. Next time I have Fiona transport me somewhere, I need to have her bring the car keys with me. I'll see you guys next week.